Hi guys, my name is Chris. I started off my career as a professional pizza maker at my parents' family restaurant called Coletta's Pizzeria on the south side of Milwaukee. And today I'm going to show you how to make homemade pizza that's delicious and nutritious. The oven needs to be really hot for making pizza. We want to preheat to about 550 degrees in our case. If you're using a pre-made crust, it can take a lower temperature. But know that it's probably best to make homemade pizza on a cold or at least cool day, because on a hot day it's going to make your kitchen and whatever floor of the house your kitchen's on even hotter. Use your favorite pizza crust. You can use a ready-made crust like Boboli or your grocery store brand. Lisa and I prefer to make our own homemade crust using some modifications to a recipe that we found that we like. And we also like to do it in some stoneware by Pampered Chef. Really gets a nice crust on there, and it really helps it to be cut easily for your family later on. So here's the delicious homemade sauce that I make. It's really easy to prepare. What you want to do is saute about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic with 3 tablespoons of olive oil for a couple minutes. Then you're going to add a 28 or 32 ounce can of whole tomatoes, a 4 or 6 ounce can of tomato paste, and then season it to your liking with oregano or Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese, crushed red pepper, a pinch of table salt, and also a little bit of onion flakes. You're going to bring that to a boil and then simmer it for about 15 or 20 minutes until you have this beautiful, zesty pasta or pizza sauce like you see here. It's helpful if you cut up your toppings ahead of time. Here I have some purple onion that's diced, some thinly sliced fresh garden mushrooms, and some chopped green peppers. Of course you can use whatever you like, but it's helpful to have it ready ahead of time. That way you don't have to do everything at the last minute and you can enjoy some of the preparation time. So as you can see, our crust has risen a little bit, which is great because we're making a pan pizza. As I said, your pizza might be with a prepared crust, but the best way is to make the crust yourself. Now, one of the things that we really learned at Coletta's that really helps your pizza is that you put olive oil on the edge of the crust so that it will get a nice roasty, toasty, golden brown when it bakes in the oven. And you want to make sure it's okay to put some olive oil on the base part where you're going to put the crust, the sauce as well. But especially around those edges and those corners, you want to make sure that you have it. Alright, now we are going to sauce our pizza. As you can see, the beautiful sauce that I made is nice and thick and chunky. And you want to spread it with a large kitchen spoon, trying to make sure that you don't get the sauce all the way to the edge of the pan. Notice how we made a little bit of a barrier, kind of a lip or shore with our crust. That's so that we can have something to hold on to when we take it out of the oven. Notice how you use the tip of the spoon to really do the fine detail work on getting it to the edges, and you use the bottom thick part of the spoon for doing the wide spreading. So we're just going to get this sauce on here nice and thick. Of course, always sauce to your liking, but I personally think that sauce is what makes the pizza, even more than the crust or the toppings, the most essential part. And so we want to have it on there nice and thick.
Make sure to give this video a like.
Alright, Benjamin, you can stop. So, a lot of people would think, okay, we got the sauce on, now the next thing is to just slap on that cheese and the toppings and away we go. But no, once again, there are a few things that you want to do that will really help the flavor of your pizza. First, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of Italian seasoning on top of our sauce, and a little bit of garlic salt, and some Parmesan cheese.
4 hours later.
Here's a little bit of our garlic salt to put on there. And
4 hours later.
it's not 4 hours later. And some Parmesan cheese. Use it
Delicious.
liberally. Delicious indeed. And next, now we are ready
My favorite cheese.
to put on the cheese. You can use mozzarella cheese.
Any cheese what you like.
Any cheese that you like. A lot of people enjoy doing a mixture of shredded provolone cheese with their mozzarella. And some folks, if you've noticed, like if you've gotten a take and bake pizza from a certain popular chain, they will actually mix American cheese or cheddar cheese with the mozzarella. Gives it a little bit of a color variation with the white, with a little bit of orange. It's okay if we have some red showing in between. As you'll see, after we put our pizza toppings on, we're going to get a little bit of top cheese on there, as we call it. And so we can get ready to put on the meat.
It's time for some toppings.
All right, we're going to put on our ground Italian sausage. You know, sausage you can get real picky about and super gourmet. We usually just get the $3 or $4 chunks that they have.
1 hour later.
The 1 pound shrink
1
wrapped
hour
bags.
later.
Shh, Benjamin. We get the the 1 pound bags from
That's so much meat.
outside of the grocery store deli. They're usually by the hamburgers and the brats and stuff like that. They really seem to do the job well. And what you're going to be doing is just putting kind of a baseball size slab of that in your hand and kind of peeling off
Baseball size.
thin chunks of sausage. The trouble is if you put on real big honkin' big pieces, they won't cook through all the way. We're putting them on top of the cheese, so on the bottom of the toppings, so that they don't slide off when we're trying to eat it. But because they're under there, it's a little harder for them to cook, and we don't want to have undercooked sausage. Nobody has ever had fun getting trichinosis. So that's what we're going to do. All right.
This is looking yummy already.
Benjamin, hit pause.
Okay. Pause is already. It's time for some toppings again.
We're making this as a family pizza. I don't know about your kids. Mine don't like onions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm only putting the onions on one half of this pizza. There's my onions, as I said before.
Yeah.
You pre-cut those. The next thing we're going to do is put our green peppers on here. My wife loves the green peppers. I'm not as big of a fan. I don't like having a big, huge bite of green pepper. But if you chop them like this, they have enough flavor. If they're not diced, but they're not the big slices that are gonna make you feel like you're having something that's soggy and groggy. All right, so I don't like the green peppers. My wife doesn't like the mushrooms. Here we're putting on our nice thin sliced mushrooms.
That's real life mushroom.
And Lisa, would you be able to open up that package of pepperoni for us? That would be excellent.
Pepperoni, my brother likes.
We got some comments from the cinematographer here. Don't shake that. So now we're going to put our pepperoni on. I always start on the outside, put the edges of those pepperoni slices right up to the edge of the crust. And in my book, you can never really have too much pepperoni. We're probably making these about 1/4 of an inch apart, but if you're a super duper pepperoni lover, you can put those as close to each other as you can. Once again, just grocery store, store-bought pepperoni here. You can go gourmet, but you don't have to. This particular brand is Hormel. Now, I had told all of you before that a real key with this pizza is
More cheese.
getting the top cheese on there. Lift that up and hold it at an angle like that. And so notice that we're just sprinkling that on. It's going to give a nice layer of adhesion for all those toppings to stay in there together. Also helps with the presentation. And once again, we're going to sprinkle some Italian seasoning on, both for flavor and for presentation. A little bit more of our Parmesan cheese. And
By the way,
we are ready to go.
By the way, my name's Benjamin.
We're ready to go in the oven. Looks like we're up to temp.
Okay.
All right, our pizza's topped and sauced, has all the cheese. Now we're gonna put it in the oven. And
Hot.
I can't wait to enjoy this delicious pizza. There's our timer to check on the pizza. It's not quite done, but look how it's rising so nicely in there. We're gonna rotate it, put it in for a couple more minutes, and then check back in a moment. Wow, we're getting really close. I am so hungry. The wonderful smell. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at this delicious pizza. I can't wait to jump in and cut this thing up and serve it up. It's really important, though, that we do let it sit for just a couple minutes. Just like a good steak, even a good pizza needs to set. So we'll check in a moment. You can see it's steaming. Probably still too hot to eat. But let me dish up a nice slice of that. Look at that beautiful golden brown crust. If I lift it up, you can see that that stoneware really did the job underneath as well. And just a couple more minutes to cool, and this delicious slice of pizza will be mine.
I wonder what this is going to taste like. I'm going to try right now. Make sure to subscribe. And then we have the best videos ever!